Good evening, everybody, and welcome to this evening's update on Subtropical Storm Nicole. So, as of 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Monday, November the 7th, Subtropical Storm Nicole has maximum sustained winds of 45 miles per hour, a minimum central pressure of 998 millibars, and is moving northwest at 8 miles per hour. We also have this other disturbance in north central Atlantic that will likely no longer develop, as is going to be encountering very much cooler ocean waters and high wind shear. Looking at the key messages for Tropical Storm Nicole, or Subtropical Storm Nicole, hurricane conditions and a dangerous storm surge are expected in portions of the northwestern Bahamas beginning Tuesday night, where a hurricane warning has been issued. Hurricane conditions are possible across portions of the coast of southeast and east central Florida beginning late Wednesday, where a hurricane watch is in effect. Tropical storm conditions are possible in the tropical storm watch areas in Florida and Georgia beginning early Wednesday. A dangerous storm surge is possible across much of the east coast of Florida and portions of coastal Georgia. The storm surge will be accompanied by large and damaging waves. Do not focus on the exact track of Nicole, since it is expected to be a large storm with hazards extending well to the north of the center, outside the forecast cone. These hazards are likely to affect much of the Florida peninsula and portions of the southeastern U.S. Nicole will produce heavy rainfall by Wednesday night and Thursday across the Florida peninsula. Flash and urban flooding will be possible, along with river rises on portions of the St. Johns River. So we're going to really focus in on key point 4. This is a subtropical system, which means the wind field is much larger than that of a normal system. So the tropical storm force winds extend several hundred miles from the center on the north and east side. And looking at the satellite imagery, we can tell right away that this does not look like your everyday tropical storm. It looks much more like a low pressure system, a cold core low pressure. And this actually, a subtropical storm has a mixture of tropical and extratropical characteristics. So the satellite, we can see we do have a circulation right about here with storms around the center, but the convection is not really that deep. And you can see the convection is more spread out, mainly on the east and southeast side, with some on the northeast side from the center. So this is not this is a mixture of a tropical storm and an extratropical cyclone. Now, looking at the official cone for subtropical storm Nicole, by 1 p.m. Tuesday, Nicole will move closer to the Bahamas, and by about 1 p.m. Wednesday, we're going to be seeing Nicole move over the far northern areas of the Bahamas. By 1 a.m. Thursday, Nicole is projected to approach the southeastern Florida coast, north of Fort Lauderdale, and then by 1 p.m. Thursday afternoon, we could have a tropical storm sitting over Tampa, Florida, and then by 1 p.m. Friday, Nicole is expected to begin to move north-northeast across Georgia and across the Carolinas into the evening Friday. And we got the aforementioned hurricane warnings in the red across the northern Bahamas, a tropical storm warning in the dark blue, and then hurricane watches across southeast and east central Florida and Lake Okeechobee in the pink, and tropical storm watches in the yellows from southeast Georgia across northeast Florida and areas of far southeastern Florida in the yellow. Now, taking a look at the spaghetti model plots, in the next 48 hours, Nicole is expected to move across the far northern Bahamas as a strong tropical storm and make landfall in about 60 hours north of Fort Lauderdale, and then around 72 hours, we'll move towards west central Florida around Tampa and make a sharp curve to the north-northeast as it is picked up by a powerful extratropical cyclone across the United States. and rapidly moves northeast across the Carolinas in the next 120 hours and race across areas of Atlantic Canada in Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, and Newfoundland in the next 6 days. So pay attention to Nicole if you live up and down the eastern seaboard, as well as Atlantic Canada, because we could be seeing a lot of flooding from this as it moves east-northeast. And looking at the intensity model guidance, subtropical storm Nicole is expected to be a mid to strong tropical storm near borderline Category 1 hurricane in 24 to 48 hours. And in the next 72 to 144 hours, as it races northeast, it'll still be at tropical storm strength. So we'll be seeing tropical storm winds up and down the east coast from subtropical storm Nicole. And looking at the European rainfall projections for Nicole, across the far northern Bahamas, we can expect anywhere from 1 to 4 inches. Across the Florida Peninsula, anywhere from 1 to 3 inches, with isolated totals up to 5 inches. And this extends up and down the southeast, the mid-Atlantic, and the northeast, widespread 1 to 3 inches with isolated 4 to 5 inch totals. And this extends into New Brunswick, Nova Scotia, and Newfoundland as well. And looking at the GFS model, we see much of the same in rainfall totals, with about 2 to 5 inches across the northern Bahamas. So the GFS is a little bit more aggressive with rainfall totals than the European model. Same with Florida, of about 2 to 4 inches with isolated 5-inch totals. And this goes up and down the east coast as well, widespread 2 to 4 inches, with a narrow corridor of maybe 4 to 5 inches across areas of the northeast, and same for Atlantic Canada. So make sure you prepare for flooding and damaging winds if you live up and down the east coast of the United States from subtropical storm Nicole over the next several days. So thanks for watching this evening's update on subtropical storm Nicole. I will continue to update you guys as the days progress on Nicole. Thanks for watching and have a wonderful evening, my friends.